Now let's take a look at the next segment. That segment being the Scorpion's assault on J. Jonah Jameson. After stopping the bank heist, Peter calls Jonah in order to provide some photos from the crime. But our boss has something more important to talk about, such as the fact that the villain named Scorpion is trying to kill him. So the reason why the Scorpion is trying to kill Jonah Jameson is because he is responsible for getting him stuck in the suit. I actually didn't know this prior to writing this review, so I had to do some research, and I even learned some more interesting details. So, J. Jonah Jameson, Peter Parker's boss and editorial nemesis, is directly responsible for the creation of the Scorpion. Yeah, apparently, Jameson hired this guy named McDonald Gargan to investigate how Peter Parker gets pictures of Spider-Man. Then for some reason, Jameson thinks it would be a great idea to have Gargan become mutated with Scorpion characteristics and also put into a suit, and that suit then gets permanently attached to his body. That's fucking weird. Anyway, back to the game. After learning that our adversarial boss is in need, we have to go get to him. There's a small level of web swinging before we get to the Scorpion, and I have to say, you can just pretty much skip past this level very easily. There are some bad guys that you can fight, but if you have limited time, and especially since I was on hard mode, you don't have really any time at all to waste. This then leads to the boss battle with the Scorpion. Now the Scorpion looks freaking awesome, but his boss battle, again, it's pretty much the first boss battle in the whole game. It's easy. Pretty much, you can defeat the Scorpion by nickel and diming him, or by throwing furniture at him. What I also really like about this boss battle is how cinematic it is. Like, look at the shot here. That's just awesome. So anyway, we save Jameson. He gratefully thanks us.
I don't know what you're trying to pull by saving my life, but it won't work.
And now, the cops are after us. So I've already said that the bank heist segment, the first segment of this game, is my favorite. I like the action, I think it's classic, I like the climbing of the buildings, I like the whole bomb story. I think that it's pretty good. I like it a lot. But when it comes to the next segment, the cop chase, that is, in my mind, the one contender against my favorite. The third segment, the escape from the police, is awesome. There are bullets being shot at us, missiles being shot at objects near us, and regular cops looking to take us out. There are also web swinging sections and even building climbing sections. And while climbing these buildings, snipers are gunning for you too. Again, the escape from the cop section is badass. And just looking at modern Spider-Man games, even games coming from that time to even now, I've seen a lot of the stealth kind of fleshed out and even pretty much mastered to the point even like the Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions. But I have never seen the escape from the police, the cop chase, being hunted down, done as well, or even as, not even as well, I don't think they've even really done it even good since this game. So even back from 2000, this game right here, it still has, in my opinion, a leg up on the modern Spider-Man games. That's impressive. Alright, so after the Scorpion's assault, we learn from Black Cat that Rhino is on a rampage, and also at the same time, Venom has kidnapped Peter's wife. This then leads to fighting the Rhino on the way to catching Venom, and that's when we have our Rhino boss battle, and it's okay. Yeah, the Rhino boss battle is kind of just okay, like it's just one level. Unlike the Scorpion boss battle, we had a whole level of web swinging until we got over to him. We had kind of some anticipation. This doesn't have it, and also compared to later on in the game where you have these big, giant, grandiose boss battles, this one is very, very small. It's a very small thing. It's not grandiose, doesn't have a lot of build-up. It's just a small, little fight within a big, grand vision that is the game. And besides being just a small little boss battle, it's also easy to win. To win, all you have to do is stand in front of these electric machinery or an oil barrel, jump out of the way when the Rhino attacks you so that he can hurt himself, and then repeat this until you win. After this though, Black Cat is kidnapped by some clearly bad guys pretending to be EMTs, and now it's time to save our wife from Venom. The Venom segment is overall good, and that even includes the sewer levels. Yeah, somehow this game figured out how to make the sewer levels fun. The first part of the segment is the chase after Venom. Before we were being chased by the cops, but now we are the ones doing the chasing. On an easy or normal difficulty, chasing Venom has the right amount of challenge, but on hard mode, it is fucking frustrating. On hard mode, it took me so many times until I finally caught Venom, and having in my mind the idea that, the Venom chase is fun, I've enjoyed this because I played on easy mode and normal mode pretty much every time before this, having that fun experience, that anticipation burned into my mind, and then having that completely be the opposite, that just makes me want to say that this game should not be played in hard mode. If you want to have a frustrating, annoying experience, you can play in hard mode. But if you want to have an enjoyable time and play the game I think that it was meant to be played, have fun, then avoid hard mode at all costs, play normal, or even play in easy. Trust me, don't play in hard mode. Anyway, when played on easy or normal, the Venom chase is really fun. And you can also pick up some Spidey armor. That will come in handy later on when you have to fight Venom in an alley. And for some reason, when you fight Venom, he can appear and disappear. I don't really recall him having this power, but it's still awesome. After defeating Venom, we then chase after him in the sewers, and within these sewers, we have to deal with these lizard monster experiments in the underground tunnels, and even on a train. After that, we then have another Venom boss battle, but unlike before, we also have to prevent Peter's wife Mary Jane from being drowned by sewer water. It reminds me a lot of the Red Hulk boss battle from the Hulk video game, and I like that one too. Anyway, we defeat Venom, reveal to him that an imposter is responsible for damaging both of us, save Mary Jane, and now head over to the Daily Bugle as a team. So at this point, this is when the believability of the game gets a little shaky. Like, I know, this game's based on a comic book series. It's comic. Things just happen. Crazy, wacky things happen all the fucking time. But before this, the video game sense made sense. At this point, on my believability scale, I give it a I don't know how else to say it. It's just an okay. And it also doesn't help too that the next levels that we do get, that with the implausibility, they're both frustrating and also boring. So going back to the game, the reason why Spider-Man and Venom head over to the Daily Bugle is that they can use its database in order to figure out who's responsible for the heist. I guess, but a little shaky. Okay, fine. Yeah, I understand the Daily Bugle is a newspaper company and they would have info and stuff, but if anyone is going to know what's going on in this freaking city, wouldn't it be the cops? We did just see Dr. Otto Octavius working with the cops. Shouldn't we be breaking into a police station? Like, I don't know, Batman? Also, while Spider-Man and Venom are here looking for information, symbiotes just happen to show up. They just happen to invade. And these symbiote generators are hooked up in the building. And the imposter we've been looking for, guess what? He's fucking here too. Again, it's shaky. It's shaky, but it's a game. So at the Daily Bugle, the symbiote levels can be frustrating. On easy and normal, they're so frustrating that you might as well just avoid them entirely if you can. But on hard mode, unless you have a death wish, don't pick any fights with symbiotes that you don't have to. Just beat up those generators and run away. This then leads to the basement of the Daily Bugle, and guess what? The imposter is here. And you know who the imposter is? It's Mysterio! The Mysterio boss battle in this game is intense, and when compared to the Mysterio boss battle in Spider-Man 2, based on Sam Raimi's movie Spider-Man 2, that one is laughably bad. You beat him in one hit. Compared to that one-hit KO attack, this Mysterio boss battle is Ragnarok. Mysterio enlarges himself to a great height. Again, like the Scarecrow from Batman's Arkham Asylum. For some reason I keep reading up Batman, I don't know why. And we as Spider-Man have to use our webbing to defeat him. You first have to shoot at these things. I don't know what those are. They're just things to shoot at, like from the robot SpongeBob from Battle for Bikini Bottom. But after destroying those weakness spots, you have to destroy these lasers and then shoot at Mysterio's head. And while that's going on, you have to avoid him grabbing you and from you stepping on electric floor panels. The fight can feel cheap at times. I mean, just look at these laser shots right here. What am I supposed to do? But if you keep it up, you'll take down this fucking clown. When you win, Mysterio then reveals that there is a symbiote invasion going on. And if you want to take down the bad guys, they're at this secret lair. And the secret lair is within Warehouse 65. Alright, so now we are at the final stretch of the game. In this final stretch, we have to first fight some symbiotes and destroy some symbiote generators. And this is again boring and frustrating. We then get to web stream across some electric future-like platforms, which is kind of cool, while avoiding some lasers, plug up the yellow gas, save Black Cat, and then now we can finally take on the bad guys. So guess what? It turns out that the reformed Dr. Otto Octavius is still a bad guy, and he's working with Carnage. What? I totally didn't see that coming, except yes I did, because it's obvious, but maybe from the standpoint of a child, this revelation might be a big deal. Anyway, when it comes to the confrontation of the big baddies right now, we first have a boss battle with Dr. Otto Octavius. So Dr. Otto Octavius, Dr. Octopus. The fight is pretty simple. Take down his barrier, avoid his attacks, jump over other barriers, and beat him up. Simple. The next boss battle is with Carnage, and the strategy to use to defeat Carnage wasn't so clear to me. So in my fight against Carnage, my strategy was basically just to avoid his attacks and nickel and dime him, until eventually it went so far as to let him die, and it proved to be successful. You see, this thing in the middle can harm Carnage, and it takes a little bit of his health each time he passes by it. What you're supposed to do, apparently, is to use your webs to shove him into it, but I didn't know that, and I thought that my strategy of just running away worked too, so you can take your pick. Alright, so now we've beaten Dr. Octopus, and we've beaten Carnage. We beat the main bad guys. We've won. The game's over, right? Nope. After defeating the main two bad guys, Carnage then takes over Dr. Octopus's body, and now we have a boss so ferocious that you don't even fight him. You just run away. I'm being serious. Monster Ock is such a beast that even Spider-Man noped out of fighting him. During the escape, Monster Ock is going after you as well, and if you manage to make it to the end, Monster Ock will be defeated and you will be saved by your buds. The game then ends with our hero Spider-Man playing cards with Daredevil, Captain America, and the Punisher, while Black Cat and the Human Torch dance around. Meanwhile, the villains are playing cards in their jail cell, and Dr. Octopus probably regrets at this point turning back to crime. So that now ends the game, but there's also some other cool stuff here. There are tons of different costumes, there are storyboards, there's secrets like this James Bond gag, and there's also a what if mode. The what if mode is basically just a gag mode, but you can see interesting stuff like Ghost Rider on the sides of buildings. Besides the cool stuff though, there are some problems that need to be addressed. Firstly, moving Spider-Man can feel a little rigid. It's just not as smooth as you'd want it to be. Second, there are certain levels like the ones including the pink symbiotes that are repetitive and boring. Thirdly, even though we do hear the characters talking, they don't actually move their mouth. I'm actually fine with their lips not moving, I don't have a problem with it, it doesn't bother me, but I do see how some people might have a problem with this limitation. Fourthly, taking a look at the character models, while I do think there is a charm in their boxy form, they can look a little weird. Like Black Cat's face here looks weird, and her hand looks very weird here too. Lastly, I cannot stress this more than enough, you do not want to play this game on hard mode. Hard mode just made so many levels that I enjoyed the complete opposite. Normal mode or even easy mode is far preferable in my opinion. In conclusion, Spider-Man is a fun game. It's got lots of action, it's got stealth, it's got a good overarching story, it's got fun segments, it's got fun boss battles, it's got secrets, it's got a lot of costumes, it's got a lot of good stuff here. But it's also got a lot of problems, such as the weird character models at times, the frustrating and annoying levels that you just don't want to even play anymore. And there's also the unbearable hard mode. I can't stress it more than enough. Do not play this game in hard. It's not going to be fun. Overall though, I do think that this game is well put together, and if this game interests you, or if you're a fan of Spider-Man, I strongly recommend you checking it out. I do not think that you will be disappointed. Alright, so that's the end of this video, and if you like this video, I'd really appreciate if you click that like button, and also check out my other videos. I make videos such as this one, as well as video game videos. I have other channels which is focused just talking about manga and anime, and I also have my videos on other platforms such as BitChute. So, if you've taken a liking to me, I got a lot to offer you. Anyway, thank you for watching. See ya.